Good evening, Internet. The Real Shroom here, and gonna play some more Standard tonight. Just for kicks, I'm gonna revisit a deck that I've tweaked a little bit that I ran a few weeks ago. We're gonna play some more Tarkir Hatestorm. What is Tarkir Hatestorm? Let's take a look. So we are a deck that's all about using hateful permanents, mostly creatures, to shut down the most popular strategies of our opponents. So what we're going to do is we start off with a variety of hateful creatures and other permanents, shutting down our opponent's strategy, you know, as one or three ofs, depending on the permanent. And then in the sideboard, we board up to many more copies of those hateful pieces to tailor our deck to counter the strategy that our opponent's using and just hate them out of the game. So what are the hate pieces that we're working with? Well, aggro decks are popular, right? That's why we're working with Authority of the Consul in the main. That's why we've got a one of High Noon in the main these days, which is a new piece of hate that I added to this brew from last time, which is actually very good against Cori Steel Cutter because it actually stops that piece of equipment from producing free tokens. What else is popular in Standard? Well, there's all the bounce decks, but we're going to counter those with 3 of Elesh Norn Mother Machines, who is a little expensive, but when she comes down, she absolutely shuts the heck out of those bounce decks. We also have a 1 of Doorkeeper Thrull that shuts down, you know, the active, like Nurturing Pixies, Fear of, I guess it doesn't shut down Fear of Isolation, but Nurturing Pixies and the other whites, like the Kirins, that kind of stuff. Doorkeeper Thrull shuts down that and all other activated abilities from creatures entering the battlefield. So that starts as a 1 of. We got more in the sideboard. There's just lots of decks that use triggered abilities. So we've got a 3 of Tishana's Tidebinder as an extremely flexible hate piece that can counter any triggered ability, and if it stays on the battlefield, counters the abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers that it initially targets permanently. So it's really good at shutting down, you know, planeswalkers in particular, but any artifact or creature that has repeated triggers abilities, those are just going to be completely shut down by the Tishanas. So it is like one of the most flexible hate pieces that we have. And we've got some miscellaneous hate in 1 of Rest in Peace in our graveyard, in our main board, which is hateful against graveyard decks. We got a 1 of Voice of Victory in our main board, which is hateful against decks that want to play at instant speed. Like there's a very popular Jeskai control deck that is just won a major tournament recently. But those decks hate this card because they like to be able to play at instant speed because they want to be able to counter our spells and destroy our permanents at during our turn. But the Voice of Victory says you can't do that. And then we have a 1 of Wilt-Leaf Liege. This is the hate against you know, Hopeless Nightmare decks, which are the Pixie decks that are also hated on by Elesh Norn and Doorkeeper Thrull. But it's good to have these in the current Standard so that you just discard this into play when your opponent plays a Hopeless Nightmare. This also, it doesn't get full value in our deck because we're like mono white as far as our creatures practically, but it does give our white creatures +1/+1, so it's something that we can play even if it doesn't specifically hate on what our opponent is doing in game 1. And then, of course, we've got the card draw, and we got to protect our creatures first of all, and we're doing that with 2 Skrelv and 4 Surge of Salvation, up to a full 4 copies of Surge of Salvation. Protects not just our creatures but all of our permanents, giving them hexproof. Also protects us from like duress and other discard spells, and can create blowouts in combat as it prevents all damage that black and red sources would deal to our creatures for a turn. So it can create really horrible combat situations for our opponents if they're not playing around it. So we got Skrelv and Surge of Salvation to protect our hate pieces. We've got a 3 of Impulse and a 1 of Silver Scrutiny to draw the pieces we need when we need them. I like Impulse for this deck because digging 4 cards deep is very helpful since we're looking for specific cards in our sort of toolbox game plan to find for the matchup that we're in. Silver Scrutiny is just can be played for 5 mana, instant speed as a card draw spell. I really think we want to play mostly at instant speed if we're not, you know, deploying our permanents, so that's why I'm not running like stock up. Also, I just think there's too many clunky 3-drops in the board already since we're playing like 3 Tishana's Tidebinders. I want my card selection to be instant speed, and I think Impulse and Silver Scrutiny are a good way to go. And then we got some other interaction to, you know, help us stay alive until we can finally win the game. We got a couple of No More Lies. We've got Get Lost. We've got 2 Split Up, which is a very good combination with Authority of the Consuls. Our opponent's creatures all come into play tapped, which means that they all are in the same state that we can use to destroy them with Split Up. Just a very good sweeper that we can play to maximum effect in a lot of situations. We've got a 2-up Seal from Existence. which is a Ward 3, like Oblivion Ring effect, which I wanted at least one of these because it does get doubled up by Elesh Norn, since we are leaning so heavily on Elesh Norn. So if we have an Elesh Norn, we play Seal from Existence, it just exiles 2 non-land permanents. This does have Ward 3, so it's extremely expensive for our opponent to try to remove, and then hopefully we can just Surge of Salvation when they go for the removal to blank that effort as well. Oh, one hate piece I forgot to mention from Tarkir is a Clarion Conqueror, a 3/3 flyer for 3 that makes activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. So this is another great hate piece from the new set that we're going to board more copies of when it's appropriate. So that is the plan. We are starting with a 1 of most of our hate pieces, 3 of in some cases, and we're going to supplement that after sideboarding to target the matchup that we're up against. Total of 25 lands in the deck. Oh, I forgot to mention our win con is Phyrexian Vindicator, which is also sort of like a hate piece itself. Any deck that doesn't have like just straight up white or black based removal basically is going to have a real hard time with this, as it just prevents any opponent's ability to deal with this via any sort of damage. It just redirects that damage exactly where we want to go. It's also just a 5/5 flyer for 4 mana, so closes out games quickly. 25 lands, all of which can tap for white mana because of our Phyrexian Vindicator. We learned the first time around that we really don't want lands that cannot be helpful to cast this card. And, you know, since standard mana is so bad, we are running 4 pain lands, which I don't like. We also have more tap lands that I would like, but it is critical that our lands do tap for white, all of them. And we need the blue mana too, because we have, you know, a fair smattering of blue spells. So this is what we're looking at with standard mana, unfortunately. The sideboard contains authorities number 3 and 4 to board in the full playset against aggro. A 1 of Crystal Barricade is there against black decks, prevents thought seizes, duresses, also prevents burn spells from targeting our creatures, so it's good against like burn heavy red decks as well. Doorkeeper's Thrulls number 2 and 3 will be boarded in against matchups where it's good. Clarion Conquerors number 2 and 3 will be boarded in when they're good. Got a couple of Spell Pierce here. This is mostly against like sweepers. You know, we don't like sweepers because they kill our entire board. So we got Spell Pierce to help protect us primarily against the sweepers, but it's just a good spell against like combo-y controlling matchups where there's critical cards our opponents need to resolve. High Noon number 2 is in the sideboard. Rest in Pieces number 2 and 3 are in the sideboard. Voice of Victory number 2 is in the sideboard. Wilt-Leaf Liege number 2 is in the sideboard as well. And there is a Ride's End, just a little bit of supplemental creature removal against mid-range decks to get those bigger threats when they try to attack us. So that is the plan. We are just going to hate out our opponent's strategy with our hateful permanents, mostly creatures, and win the game with our Phyrexian Vindicators that hopefully will be very hard for our opponent to deal with. And they'll have a hard time dealing with all of our creatures because we have them so well protected between our counterspells, our Skrelvs, and our Surges. So let's see if we can hate out the standard metagame sufficiently to win some games. I think we're in gold tier now. And if you like off-meta, off-kilter MG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let's get into the matches on the ladder. Okay, so Josephine the Mighty will be our opponent. We'll be on the play. And I like Authority of the Consuls turn 1, so we're keeping this. Hopefully it's a matchup where Authority's good. Verges are fantastic. I like Verges. Yeah, they're good, fair, clean lands that like they make you diversify your lands because okay, there's a beanstalk, sweet. Clarion Conqueror. Do we play this? They're a beanstalk deck, so they're gonna have overlords. Do we play this? I mean, it's a 3/3. I guess we start beating down. There is a little bit of anti-synergy in our deck. I didn't go over this in the deck tech, but it is something that we have to be aware of. Like, for instance, the Clarion Conqueror and Skrelv is an anti-synergy. Also, Authority of the Consuls and like Doorkeeper Thrull is an anti-synergy. So I've got a whole lot of nothing going on right now. So we just have to do our best, particularly post sideboarding, to sequence properly and not get too hurt by anti-synergies. That's what happens when you know, try to cram every hate piece. Well, we didn't draw any hate for the beanstalk, so that's too bad, really. Elesh Norn. I would love to be able to protect this. I don't know what they're going to have in the way of interaction. I guess they could have, like, Terra Sunder. Oh, I was going to split up, possibly. I really should have done that before combat. Well, I guess I'm going to play Elesh Norn and just see what happens. Alright, I don't want to risk getting, like, torched, so I'm not going to block this. Next turn I'll have protection. I just need to have Elesh Norn live this turn. We get double triggers off Authority of the Consuls. That's cool. Oh, they have blue mana. Okay. Again, I would like skip through my main phase before combat. So I should have attacked, you know, with my Conqueror there. But we'll go ahead and split up, destroying tapped creatures. So they really should be at 7 or possibly 4. Bloomvine Regent, yeah. Doesn't gain them life. Does gain us 2 life though. Tidebinder. So I could surge to get through this attack. Yeah, see, they should be at 7 and we should be able to win the game right now, if not for my misplay. So sure, I think I'll surge. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's only Skrelv that lets you... It's only Skrelv that lets you get past blockers. I was thinking that Surge was like a Skrelv activation. Ugh, it's Friday night. It's been a long week. So I just wasted a Surge of Salvation. Opponent wisely blocks. I could Tishana's the Beanstalk. I think I wanted Tishana's the Beanstalk. It only counters the 1 trigger though. They abrade the Tishanas. I think that's fine. Because again, this only counters 1 trigger. I don't want to use my Surge on that. You do gain 2 life. Okay. We also have these restless anchorages. So I think I'm going to get lost this dragon. And attack. I didn't attack with the anchorage because I want to hold up Surge of Salvation. Okay, they're dragging back Assault deck. But yeah, their landfall doesn't do anything. More beans. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, opponent should really already be dead. Have it were it not for our misplays. So let's attack like this. They block our 3/3. Let's map our anchorage. I should have done Elesh Norn. Surge of Salvation. Yeah, we'll leave that on top. I like Surge of Salvation. They should already be dead. Dragging back Assault number 2. Well, it does draw cards. Doesn't actually do anything. There's another Regent. Draw 2 cards. Comes into play tapped though. We do gain 2 life. Alright, we got there despite our punts. So, beans, etc. Dragon Storm. I think we want Spell Pierce and Ride's End. Is there anything else that we want? Our main board is pretty good against them. We don't need High Noon. We don't need Rest in Peace. Crystal Barricade protects our Tidebinders from Torch the Tower. I don't think we need Doorkeeper Thrull. It's good against the green dragon life gain, but that's about it. I don't think we need a lot of this stuff. We don't need Authority of the Consuls really either. So let's go up a Voice of Victory, just because it doesn't present any anti-synergy. I mean, I guess I'll have the Authorities just because there's not much else that's really good. I'll run one Authority. You know, I think I'd rather just have a Wilt-Leaf Liege. So yeah, Elesh Norn and Tishanas are the cards that are good here. Skrelv, Wilt-Leaf Liege. Skrelv is very good against them, but I don't think this is good enough. I think we have to mulligan. Okay, this is much better. Keep this and bottom a land. We can draw more land, right? Or split up. I think I'd rather bottom split up, actually. Beans. They don't have beans? Oh, just elves. Okay. We'll counter that. Alright, I want to leave up Tidebinder? Or should I just exile one of these elves? Sucks to spend 3 mana to exile a 1 mana thing. I think I'm going to hold up Tidebinder. Dragging back assaults. Okay. Well, we can counter that trigger. It doesn't stop it from making dragons though, which is unfortunate. All right, let's go for a Vindicator. I think that's going to be hard for them to deal with. Their removal seems to be red-based. Yeah, they can't beat the Vindicator. Alright, so we beat Temur Dragonstorm. Sweet. Hatestorm, greater than Dragonstorm. Quats will be our next opponents. Will be on the play. And, I mean, the hand looks fine. We'll keep. Thundering Falls leaves it on top. Okay, so we could be aggro or control. Probably more aggro, more likely to be aggro. I don't know if aggro plays Thundering Falls actually. Okay, yeah, I think we want to counter that, right? Alright, we're just gonna play a Clarion Conqueror. Vengeful Possession. To steal our dude for a turn. So they're like, they've got to be a monument deck of some kind. Which actually is Tinasha's thing. But we don't have a Tinasha in our hand right now. Tishana, is it Tinasha or Tishana? Grabbing the prize. So Tormenting Voice. Alright, let's just try for a Vindicator. They could have Phantom Interference, they don't. Ill-timed Explosion. Is going to deal 6 damage to my stuff. How about to your face? There's the Mako. Split up. Not bad. Do we even need to play Elesh Norn? Might as well, they're tapped out. Another ill-timed explosion would kill them. There's the monument. And they scoop. Okay, so monument to Endurance. I think we want Spell Pierce. I don't think we need Doorkeeper Thrull. I think High Noon's actually decent against them. I don't think we need Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace isn't good. Voice of Victory could maybe be good against them. Wilt-Leaf Liege we don't need. Again, the barricade can protect our stuff from red removal spells. I don't think Clarion Conqueror does anything to them. Do we need more than one High Noon? I think we'll run it like this. Tishana's Tidebinder is our best card in this matchup. This is way too slow. I think we have to mull this clearly. And here we need to draw a land, but it'll be good. I'm gonna keep this and bottom. I don't know, Surge of Salvation or Vindicator. Salvation can help us protect our Tidebinder, which is critical against their monuments. So I guess I'm bottoming. I could bottom Authority the Consuls too. Authority isn't necessarily the best. They're really trying to win with their artifact. I'm gonna bottom Vindicator. Okay, let's play Authority. Prof's Eidetic Memory. Okay. Too bad we couldn't spell pierce that, Profs. Alright, I'm gonna hold up Tidebinder. Tidebinding the Profs wouldn't be too terrible either. Ill-timed explosion. I'll just spell pierce that. Okay, we just draw more surges. Lovely card, but not exactly what we're interested in here. More spell pierce. Okay. Well, the more lands our opponents draw, the less effective spell pierce becomes. Hidden Volcano. Can we draw a land, please, deck? Sacking their Hidden Cataract. Could just counter this. I think I'm gonna counter that. Just to get my Tishanas on the board. Probably wasn't worth it, but I mean, gotta do something. We can't No More Lies plus spell pierce something if we need to. There's the Mako. Alright, more No More Lies. Lies aplenty. Monument to Endurance. Counter. They pay. Okay, if they have a spell pierce here, we could be in trouble. They don't. Alright, draw land number 5. I think we'll just play Mama-san. One No More Lies is not going to be enough to counter a monument anyway. Sugarcoat. So Elesh Norn is now a food. Let's play our barricade. Attack with our Tidebinder. Into the Flood Maw. I think that's... I think we'll surge that, since we got 3 surges. Sugarcoat. I think we'll surge again. Alright, opponent's empty-handed now. Why are they playing this card? 3 mana. Enchanted creature is a food. I don't get it. Tursa Light Shatter. Okay, it would be nice to find a removal spell for Tursa. We don't find it. They don't have a monument though, so that's good news. They're gonna discover. They get a Mako. We get a life. Yeah, we'll block. Impulse. Alright, I think we start attacking with our anchorage. We go to 3. I'm just gonna hold up my spells. Roiling Dragonstorm. Okay. They get a +1/+1 counter. Monument to Endurance. Countered. Cycling, so their Mako is now a 3/3. Alright, they can make it into a 4/4. One of their creatures into a 4/4. Into a 6/6. Take a huge hit, but they're dead to our stuff. GG's. Alright, managed to keep them off the monument. That's pretty hateful. Crazed Outlaw will be our next opponent. Okay, I really like turn 1 Skrelv, so let's go. Especially since I can protect it turn 2. There's nothing too crazy. Sleep Cursed Fae. Another Meticulous Archive. That's a lot of tap lands. No reason to hold Skrelv up since we have nothing to protect. More Sleep Cursed Fae. Spyglass Siren. Okay. Is that a fairy? No, it's a siren. More Seal from Existence. Those will be good if we ever get Elesh Norn. I don't know. I think we're looking for like untapped lands. Tishana's? I'm not sure. Possibly split up. No attack. Okay. Feybloom Trick. Tap targeted creature, sure. Skrelv is tapped. Alright, I think we'll go for a Get Lost on this fairy that's about to untap. Oh, it has Ward 2. Oops. I forgot about that. Yeah, this creature is actually decent. That's an oops. Yeah, that really sucks. I guess we'll do this on their turn. Flood Pit's Drowner. I mean, Skrelv can't block anyway. So let's try this. And pay the ward, actually, this time. And this is a terrible timing to do this. So I gave them the map tokens. I could have done this like after they attacked. So they don't have the map tokens. Our chances don't look good against their board. We'll see. One, two, three. They have 6 damage in the air. Alright, Doorkeeper Thrull can block something. I'm gonna play Elesh Norn. Alright, so they're just like mono blue weenie tempo. So give me all of our Authority of the Consuls. Give me Voice of Victory. I think give me Spell Pierce. I don't think High Noon is advantageous for us. Rest in Peace we certainly don't need. Wilt-Leaf Liege we don't need. Yeah, I think I'm going to go up the Thrulls and the Clarion Conquerors here. So let's board out stuff. We're just gonna go with 1 Skrelv because that gets shut down by the Clarion Conqueror. And Doorkeeper Thrulls, I don't think Tishana's is the play. Yeah, I don't think Elesh Norn really does much. I don't really think it does anything, actually. It doubles up our Seal from Existence, that's about it. We just need Vindicators and Authority of the Consuls. I like Voice of Victory against them. Maybe we'll try this. The Mobilize might actually be good. The Cursed Fae. Nothing, huh? Okay, well, we can freely attack because they can't cast any spells. And let's Authority. So they remove a stun counter from their Sleep Cursed Fae. Sleep Cursed Fairy, okay. Flood Pit's Drowner, I mean, I want to counter that. I would like to draw a split up. Clarion Conqueror. Let's play the Clarion Conqueror. Alright, we're gonna trade with one of these fairies. Enduring Curiosity. Well, that's pretty horrible. Attack. I guess it's Mama-san. Elesh Norn does block the Curiosity well, if it remains. We didn't draw any of our protection. Spyglass Siren gets no clue. Gains us 2 life. Alright. Let's just fire up our anchorage. We'll attack like this. Yeah, they can do that. Okay. Well, that's annoying. But yes, that is something they can do. Yeah, we'll leave a split up on top. I hate to reveal that to my opponent, but... Bounce Elesh Norn. Draw 2 cards. Okay, there's a reason why I am gonna split up here. Kill your tap stuff. Untap their Sleep Cursed Fairy. Draw 2 cards. I mean, they're still awfully restricted about when they can play stuff, but they can just bounce my guy at any time. But yeah, we can't. The Enduring Curiosity is just too much value. Can we draw another split up, please? Phyrexian Vindicator. Well, we're gonna play it. Draw 6 cards. Yeah, that's fair. Very fair. Drawing another split up is what we need, otherwise we're dead. And we don't draw it. All right, GG's. Tushin is our next opponent. We're on the play. We're 1-1 so far, right? And we'll keep. Hopefully, authority is good against our opponent. We're 2-1. Alright, let's go for Voice of Victory. They lead on island, so hopefully this will be good against them. Subterranean Schooner. I'm not counting that incomplete match. Merfolk. Looks like the Voice of Victory is causing them some problems. Voldalian Hexcatcher, okay. Into the Flood Maw. We'll Surge. Okay, let's attack with our Voice of Victory. Now, do I get lost this Hexcatcher? I think I do. Rather than hold up Tishana's. The only thing I would Tishana's would be activating the Schooner. But if they play a creature, it's going to come into play tapped anyway. It's not going to be able to activate the Schooner. Deeproot Pilgrimage. Okay, they bounce my thing. Well, let's play the thing. We miss our land. That really sucks. Tidebinder. Give me old life. Get lost doing its thing. Brineborn Cutthroat, much worse when you can't play it at instant speed. They leave it on top. Get lost. Man, could I just draw a land, please? Oh, right. There was the Monument deck, too. Yeah, okay. You're right. We're 2-1. Crew. They're gonna explore. Oh, I was meant to activate Tishana's. I meant to cast Tishana's. I guess I can do it when they get the explore trigger. Yeah. It would have been better to do the crew ability. Defabricate? Wait, how are you casting spells? Oh, it's your turn, that's why. Oh, they countered my trigger. And they drew a land. Okay. We'll take 3. Let us draw a land, please. There's a Brine-born Cutthroat. Okay, we drew a land. Let's attack. And let's play a Phyrexian Vindicator. They have one card we don't know about, which needs to be an answer to this or they're dead. It is Into the Floodmaw. They just attack with their 1/1. Seal from existence. Can we just win right now? We can get them to 1. No, we can't, because whatever I play this on, they just use to crew. So I guess I just play Vindicator again. And just hope they don't top deck something else. Yeah, they can make a lot of 1/1s. And they don't have the answer. Okay. So, I think we want Authority of the Consuls and Voice of Victory. And I think we want Clarion Conqueror against them. And Ride's End. So we'll cut down the cut out the Skrelv since we're going up the Clarion Conquerors. Rest in Peace doesn't do anything. Wilt-Leaf Liege doesn't do anything. High Noon I don't think is good for us in this matchup. And I think Doorkeeper Thrull also doesn't do very much against them. I mean, it stops Tidebinders, but we want to use our own Tidebinders. Alright, I like it turn 1 authority, so I'm going to keep this. Deep-root Pilgrimage.
Emotions are distractions. Focus on the facts. Our plans are beyond.
Alright, play our Clarion Conqueror. another deep-root pilgrimage. Subterranean schooner. I think if we attack you... Pass. Okay. Attack you again. Go for an Elesh Norn. They don't activate the schooner. Okay. Let's attack. This doesn't have flying or anything, right? Taking 7. Okay. The actually crew is an activated ability, right? I think it is. Tishana's. Sure. Doesn't do anything. It does gain us 2 life. Their Jace can't do anything. They can't crew their schooner. They pass. We draw another Tidebinder. Okay, I think I'm going to activate my anchorage. Oh, this means that I can't play another Tidebinder. I wasn't paying attention to my lands. I wasn't paying attention to my lands. So they're dead to the air. Unless they have something. I should have played my Darkar Waste, then I could have Tishana's up. This town, yep, they had the bounce. Tishana's gonna give us a bunch of life. Alright, play the Conqueror again. Clarion conquered. Yes, so far it would appear that way. Good game, opponent says. Okay, good game. Yeah, Clarion Conqueror completely shut them down. That was sweet. Bozo Overmind will be our, I think, final opponent. That's a 0 lander, so mulligan. And, I mean, this hand is okay. Tidebinder is good. We'll keep. Bottom of plains. Alright, so it looks like Cori Steel Cutter. Vindicator will be good. Yep. Talent. Swift Spear. Oh, look, the cutter automatically equips and makes a token. We could get lost one of these creatures, or we could possibly get lost the Storm Chaser's talents. I think I'd just get lost. What? A Swift Spear? I think this token, because I want a Tishana as the next Cori Steel activation. Get Lost, not the card that you want against, you know, an aggro deck like them. I guess it's just kind of standard for like the white mid-range and control decks to play Get Lost as like a 3 or 4 of, but it always seems to bite me in the butt. 6-shot show off. Alright, we'll counter the Cori Steel activation. And we gotta take this. Alright, Vindicator, it's up to you. I guess if we're not gonna block, we should attack, right? Yeah. Stock up. Bolt wave my face. So I block here. I go to 5 and then I win. Yes, Phyrexian Vindicator. Oh, the Tishana's got him good too. Okay, Authority of the Consuls, please. High Noon, Voice of Victory, Crystal Barricade, Ride's End, Spell Pierce. We don't need Doorkeeper Thrull. We don't need Clarion Conqueror. We don't need Wilt-Leaf Liege. We don't really need Elesh Norn that much. We don't need Rest in Peace. And cut one Skrelv. I'm gonna cut Silver Scrutiny. Yeah, I think Elesh Norn is just a little slow. It doesn't really hate them that much. Not as much as our other pieces. Crystal Barricade and High Noon are both good cards. We'll keep. High Noon is excellent against them. See if we actually manage to get it off. Okay, they just plot a slick shot. That's good. Let's play High Noon. Cori Steel Cutter. Alright, we're gonna Tishana as the cutter activation when they go to try to activate it. There's the slick shot. Storm Chaser's talent. Okay, we're gonna counter Cori Steel's activation. Stock up. We're gonna take a huge hit from Slick Shot, but we have Vindicator next turn. They could have another, like, Into the Flood Maw, though, which would be annoying. But we could instead Crystal Barricade plus High Noon. Actually, kind of like that. So now they can't burn our Tidebinder to death. Emberheart Challenger is just a 2/2. Okay, let's play a Vindicator. We'll attack. Monstrous Rage. Okay. And we beat Cori Steel Cutter, the menace of Standard. Wow. We shut them down handily. Breaking into Platinum tier. Okay, our final record with the new improved version of Tarkir Hatestorm was a 4-1. And we had some really good matches. We beat Monument to Endurance, like the Mako, discard cycling deck. We totally destroyed them. We totally destroyed Temur Dragonback Assault and Temur Cori Steel Cutter, which is crazy. So yeah, I think the deck is actually good. It has the hate pieces to combat the meta game. We did lose pretty bad to that fairy deck. I wish there was a room for maybe a third stock split up. I don't know. I think that would be helpful to have on the side, because decks that do go really wide can be a little hard for us. Like, we do have the authority of the consoles, but apart from split up, we don't really have any way of dealing with a wide board. We're a little light on like spot removal too, but I think we're just relying on our hate to make our opponent's play so minimally impactful that it doesn't really matter if they have creatures. We're really leaning heavily on the Vindicator to close out games for us, which it does, especially against red decks. So I don't know. I think the deck is actually quite good the way it is. I really enjoyed playing it. It's very fun. It's very challenging, and it really does have the hate to get the job done. I would try to figure out a way to get a third split up into the sideboard, I think, which is tough. These slots are all like so in demand. There's so much that we have to hate out because it's such a large standard metagame, but I think we tried to represent all the major players here, and as the metagame evolves, you might be able to lose certain pieces. Like, we have High Noon here because the Cori Steel Cutter deck is a thing. We have Wilt-Leaf Liege here. We would never put this in this deck, except that, like, Hopeless Nightmare Pixie Bounce is one of the most played decks. So if standard evolves and stuff rotates out, you can tailor the hate pieces to whatever's ripe in the meta. The key pieces, I think, are Tishana's, Elesh Norn, as well as Surge of Salvation, the ways to protect the hate pieces. And yeah, I just think the whole plan of the deck, a toolbox of hateful white, mostly creatures, is really right up my alley, and I think it's quite powerful. We proved that tonight with our 4-1 record against, including some top tier decks. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching Tarkir Hatestorm version 2.0. If you did and you like off-meta, off-kilter RPG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I do stream MTG on my Twitch channel every Tuesday and Friday night. There's a link to the Twitch in the description as well. Hope to see you there. Stop on by and check out the action. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later.